And then, of course, we got to ask the question about our solar system and our galaxy and the whole universe. What about the entire universe? Was it created or did it evolve? What about the properties that make up our universe? Time, space, matter, and energy. Were time, space, matter, and energy, were they created or did they evolve? And this brings us to the two basic worldviews that are out there. Some people look at this world, they say, a Big Bang is what made this world from absolutely nothing. And this idea came out because, who was the guy looking through his telescope? The Hubble. Hubble's looking through his telescope, and he's realizing galaxies are getting further and further away. And no matter which direction he looked, the galaxies seem to be getting further and further away from where we're at. So he said, it looks like the universe is expanding. Well, they drew from that, well, maybe if we go back in time, that means it used to be closer together. It's possible that everything started off as a singularity and then expanded. It was actually by the newspapers that nicknamed this the Big Bang, even though there's no atmosphere, so there's not really a bang. And it was really, really tiny, but I guess it grew big. So anyway, they nicknamed it the Big Bang, and that took off, and everybody now calls it the Big Bang idea. By the way, scientists are now beginning to reject the Big Bang idea. But this is one way to explain, I guess, what we see. We see a universe. We see our galaxies, we see the earth, we see animals, we see mankind. This is one explanation of where man came from. And this is, by the way, the humanist worldview or the evolutionary worldview. The problem is this worldview comes from the perspective of there is no God. Some people try to blend this there is no God idea with, well, maybe God used evolution. See, I look at the world and I say, no, this world is incredibly designed. God was a smart designer. He's a very, very intelligent designer. That's the creationist worldview. Some people are trying to bring together, to mesh together creation and evolution. And I think you have big problems when you do that. When you think about the two different worldviews, they don't go together. They're not the same thing. The creation worldview, if you were to take just the Bible and you were to take it seriously and take the dates that are in here as accurate, you would read and you'd find out that from Adam to Abraham is about 2,000 years. From Abraham to Jesus Christ is another 2,000 years. And then from Jesus Christ to today is about another 2,000 years. And you get an age of approximately 6,000 years for the age of the earth. That's not what the evolution timeline is teaching. The evolution, the secular timeline is teaching somewhere between 13 and 20 billion years ago is when the Big Bang happened. Right now they're at about 13.8 billion years. It's funny because they'll say plus or minus and they'll give this little bitty percentage of like, it's got to be really close. Guys, they've changed it from 18 up to 20, down to 12, back up to 13, then 13.4, then 13.8, every time with a tiny margin of error, and then, oops, we were wrong. Let alone what the James Webb Space Telescope is discovering. They're like, uh-oh, galaxies that are supposed to be just now forming, we're seeing them fully formed, fully functional. We got a problem. James Webb Space Telescope is destroying classic astronomy and cosmology. It's destroying many of the things that they held dear about how the world began. But anyway, 13 to 20 billion years ago, the Earth formed, there was a Big Bang, and then nothing happened for a while. 4.6 billion years ago is when the Earth cooled down. So our ball of dirt, our planet Earth formed 4.6 billion years ago. 3 billion years ago is when life evolved here on Earth. We'll talk about that in a second. Another major issue they cannot overcome. Then life continued to evolve. Around 3 million years ago is when mankind evolved. And now here we are today, the product of blind, random chance in a purposeless universe.